Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. First of all, we'd like to thank Tokyo Game Show for allowing us to bring the first exclusive reveal of the Black Legend gameplay to you guys. Also, big thank you to everyone who left amazing comments on the trailer. The biggest one was a request to show some gameplay, which is exactly what we're going to do today. So, asking you shall receive. First of all, I'm Menno van der Heijden. I'm the creative director for Black Legend, and what we're going to do today is show some gameplay for you guys, so you can see how the game operates. You'll learn a bit more about the story as well, and we're just gonna try to show you as much as possible in one of the first chapters. Before we get started, we want to talk a bit about the story because, well, that's going to be the main motivation for you guys. So, Black Legend will take place in the city of Grant, which you can see on the screen here. And this city, or city-state, has always been surrounded by bigger, badder countries. But because everybody was trading with it, they decided not to mess with it too much out of fear from retribution for the other nations. At some point that changed, and what happened is the neighboring nations decided to duke it out, and Grant was basically up for grabs. The city council of Grant decided that they did not want to be pillaged and invaded, so they were approached by Mephisto, a very talented, charismatic alchemist who offered to essentially cover the entire city in fog and hand out antidote to the population. The fog would cause terrible effects to those without the antidote, and this way they could prevent all the city from being overtaken. This went well for quite some time until eventually Mephisto disappeared, and the entire city went into just complete shambles, lots of deaths. And years later, the war between the neighboring nations is over, but everybody still speaks of the city covered in fog way out there in the distance. And this is where our players come in. So you are the leader of a squadron of mercenaries who fought on the losing side in the war, and the king gave you a very simple task: deliver me Grant, and I will deliver you a royal pardon, so you don't get executed. Your group accepts these quests, drinks the antidote, and heads into the city, and that is where our story will start. So, I think I've bored you enough with backstory. Let's get into the game. So we're going to start a new game. And I'm going to lower the game volume for a bit, just so I'm still clear. So as we can see here, the difficulty settings is something that we definitely wanted to include. So players can pick on their own what they want. In this case, easy mode is for those who just want to enjoy the story. The biggest feature of this is after every battle, your party will be healed to full. You don't have to deal with a permanent death. Some encounters are a bit less difficult. But today I figure to show off most of the features, we're just going to play on normal difficulty. For the diehards, they can play on hard mode, where not only do you have a single save, meaning you will be restricted to only the automatic saves, preventing the infamous save scumming. Encounters are a lot more difficult. The drop rate is significantly reduced. Permanent death is on, meaning that if one of your squad mates dies, there is no way to revive them, and you will have to find a new one, or hope you found a replacement already and swap them out. But today we're going to play on normal, so let's do that. Alright, so we've added a character customization. The character you make here will be your main character. This will be how you move throughout the city. Also important to notice, if you decided to go for more custom difficulty settings, if the main character dies and you can't revive them before combat ends, it counts as a game over. So this will be the unit that you will probably want to spend most attention to in combat. So let's see what we can make. We'll go for male. Let's see here. Sure, that looks like a very friendly face. For the hairdo, let's go for something nice and short. And I kind of like the grizzled gray-haired look, so we'll go with that. Have some beard options. Let's go for the full beard. And let's name him Tokyo Game Show. TGS 2020. Are you sure you want to finalize your hero? Yes. So, welcome to Grand. We start in the Commoner District. At the entrance, big bridge, you can see there were preparations for the big battle that was supposed to happen. When the armies approached, they all got covered in fog, decided to fight each other instead of the city because they didn't have antidote. And we're going to be one of a few people who are going to enter the city. So just bring you the in-game audio real quick. There we go. That's better. So, let's enter Grand.
I don't get why you're so bothered with you lot. Every new mercenary bandy wants me to let in dies faster than the last one. Name's Martin. I would settle for more pleasant introductions, but now's the time for a more simple question. Why have you come here? A royal pardon from the king? I've seen my fair share of looters, treasure hunters, and idiots alike, but that's a new one. You want to stay alive here, then ask Johan to join the Gilded Claw. I'll take you there as long as you don't slow me down. Get those legs moving, it's not far from here.
Alright, so there's a wonderful chap that let us in. Says his name is Martin, and he advises us to join the Gilded Claw, which appears to be some sort of resistance. And the best way to stay alive would be to join them. So the two biggest aspects of Black Legend is, in one sense, we have our combat, which we will show off later, and then the other one is what we have right now, where you're free to explore the city however you like. So it seems that Martin wants us to move over there, but I'm going to explore a bit. And I noticed that there's already some treasure chests around with some goodies in them, like a hand axe. There's one here from the GG Co. Wonder what that is. A long sword, some vermilion, and a leather tunic. Let's see one over here as well. Some vitriol and some more vermilion. So treasure hunting is definitely a thing. You're gonna need to keep your eyes open for these kinds of things. As you progress, you will earn supplies, new equipment, and later on I'll explain how important that equipment will be. But first, let's approach him.
Still have some stamina after your journey? Good. See this light? Means someone inside is willing to talk. No, ask him for the key to the gate there. We lock off a lot of things and grant on Johan's orders. Believes it will prevent people from stumbling into places they've no business being.
So for the exploration aspect, he recommends that we keep an eye out for these lanterns, because it indicates that there's people at home. So let's go knock on this door and see what the person inside has to say.
You willingly entered this place? Should have taken the death sentence, friend. Much better way out. Grant is beyond saving, I tell you. If the fog doesn't kill you, the bleeding Mephistians will. Them nutters actually worship the fog and the madman that created it. Why I'm posted here? Simple cowardice. Useless in battle, just like most people indoors. Keep an eye out for lanterns. People hiding may have interesting things to tell. Could save your life someday. Off you go then. Here's the key to the little gate. No point keeping it locked when the cult controls the entire city.
So it seems Grant has a bit of a cultist problem, and we are going to try and solve that. So we just received a key, which will open this little gate here. I'm gonna step through, and it seems Martin has something to do as well. Notice another treasure chest here. Receive some more vitriol.
Just my luck. Mephistian cultists up ahead. You lot, hope you haven't forgotten how to swing those weapons. Prepare your group with anything you found. Can't have you die this early. Take these daggers. It's always nice to have a rogue on hand. And this crossbow would do fine in the hands of a sharpshooter. Shoot down any stragglers from a safe distance. Changing your class will teach you new abilities depending on the weapon you've equipped. Keep using those abilities in battle to learn them forever. Passive abilities are learned by simply having them active in battle and performing actions. You can have 3 learned abilities from any class alongside the other ones. Remain versatile by swinging classes often and learning new abilities. Head on once you've sorted it all out. I can only distract them for so long, so don't take too long.
Alright, so Martin here has given us a crossbow and a pair of daggers. And as you can see in the log here, it says new class unlocked, Sharpshooter and Rogue. And this is how you discover new classes in Black Legends. So it's completely equipment based. Once the game detects that you found a valid combination of equipment, you will receive a notification that you have discovered a new class and that it's worth checking out what's new. So I'll just open the inventory screen right now. And this is where you can customize your squadron, give them new equipment, check their abilities, etc. So we just received a crossbow, which unlocked the Sharpshooter class. And I'll have Hannah here equip it. So I'll select the class, and then we get an overview of all the classes we've discovered so far. So right now, all my units are mercenaries, which are your standard beginner class. They learned a few abilities already, like for example here, First Aid, which is a very basic healing ability that will heal some hit points and has a 50% chance to remove a random negative stats effect from the target. So really useful in just in general. Rock throw, pick up a stone and throw it at the target, all very basic abilities. But we're gonna go for the Sharpshooter. It says these marksmen live on the edge of the battlefield, but very few mistake distance for disinterest. Using the large range of crossbows and rifles, the Sharpshooter picks up targets with ease before swiftly moving to their next vantage point. Ineffective at close range, the Sharpshooter's defense consists mostly of mercilessly shooting down opponents before they can ever reach them. So range classes, we'll just click on that, and immediately Hannah is now a Sharpshooter. So she has the crossbow equipped now, and with the crossbow came a ability just for the Sharpshooter, which is Snipe. Take precise damage at a vital organ to damage the target, deals damage and supplies some Necrodose stacks. As Martin just explained, as long as you keep using these abilities in combat, you will eventually learn them, and once you've learned them, they're yours to keep forever. Now what does that mean? It means if I find a new weapon that teaches a different ability, I can switch that weapon and then because I've already learned the previous ability, I can still use it. So people who played Final Fantasy Tactics will be, more specifically the Game Boy Advance version, they will be very familiar with the system. And even though you keep finding newer and more powerful weapons, you still want to hang on to the older ones just for these abilities. So what does that also mean is if an ability is learned forever, like the ability she has as a mercenary, you can cross-class them. So up to 3 abilities can be cross-classed, and that means that as from any class, so you don't have to stick to one. It means that because she's learned this as a mercenary, I can just select it, equip it, and now she can use the first aid ability alongside everything she can learn as a sharpshooter. So let's do another unit. Let's have Look here, who is wearing some heavier armor. This nice medium breastplate. Let's make him a bit lighter on his feet. So we're gonna go to select class again, and we're gonna pick the rogue. The rogues are a bit more specialized. They're not very strong, but they're very fast, and they focus more on skill, which is a stat that has a bunch of fun features. And it seems you can learn 2 abilities as a rogue with the equipment that we currently have. So Venom Sting, which deals damage and poisons the target, and then Kidney Shot, which is a quick action, it seems, because it only costs 1 action point. That also deals damage and applies Nigredo. So again, I'm just gonna switch him. Now, because rogues wear light armor, and they can only wear light armor, you notice that he unequipped his heavy armor set. Again, just like with Hana, the sharpshooter, we can now select cross-class abilities. And we're gonna also pick first aid, which will be really convenient later. With that, I think Martin has waited enough, so let's go help him out. Oh, let's not forget pick up some goodies, some throwing daggers and some vitriol. So the way combat works in the open world is if you enter these red zones that you can see here, enemies will spot you and combat will start. So before combat begins, you have some time to check your units, make sure they're in a advantageous spot, and when you press the start combat button, combat will begin. So I'm gonna pick up Hana here, and I'm gonna put her on this crate here, so she has a bit better vantage point. I'll put Niels here, put Look over here, and then our main character is gonna go on the right.
When the enemy spawns and combat starts, units take turns and move and attack. Your turn is decided by your initiative, and your initiative is determined by your agility stat. A unit has action points and movement. Action points are used to perform attacks and abilities. Movement will let you move across the field. Mix between movement and actions as you like. Once you're out of both, your turn ends. Ending your turn without spending all action points makes your next turn come faster. When ending your turn, pick a direction to face. Attacking from the back or side would do significantly more damage. Units with shields take even less damage from their left and front, while those with parrying daggers will perform a counterattack. Enough talk for now. Let me remind you how it's done. These flanking and backstab bonuses only apply to melee attacks. Your prowess in battle will improve more quickly if you know how to exploit it. Ranged attacks will always count as if they were performed from the front. It's your turn now. Show me what you're worth.
So combat in Black Legend is a bit different from the games that most people are familiar with nowadays. One big thing we focused on was trying to eliminate randomness to a certain extent. And in our game that translates to if you perform an attack, it will always hit. There are no No events where your unit has to make that final hit with a 95% chance to hit and then decides to miss anyway, causing that unit to die forever. None of that. So instead, your positioning still matters. Flanking enemies will provide some bonus damage, and backstabs will do even more. That's a big one. We also focus heavily on line of sight, but for now, let's because Luke's initiative is highest, he gets to go now, and this unit here has a shield, meaning his front and his left side are protected, so he will take less damage from there. So I'm gonna move Luke to his flank, to his unprotected side, and what I'm gonna do is select the kidney shot ability, just punch him. You can notice here we get the feedback that we successfully flanked him, dealing 25% more damage. And then let's just sting him as well. Alright, so he's poisoned now, he took some damage. In Black Legend we have a bit of a D&D approach to our combat, meaning you can switch up action points and movement as much as you like. There's no restriction on either. So after my 2 abilities, I have no action points left, but I still have a point of movement. So if I want to, I can still move around, and that goes for everything. Now that I'm out of both action points and movement, I have to pick a direction to face. So I'm just gonna cover my back, and that ends the turn. So it's not squadron based, it's unit based. All units get their own individual turns, and depending on how many action points you have left at the end of your turn, your next turn will come faster. Now ranged characters, we also decided to change it up a bit in the fact that we take line of sight very seriously. So that means if a friendly unit or an enemy unit is blocking another unit, then the attack simply cannot occur. So it's not that these covers will reduce the chance to hit. In our case, if something blocks your shot, it will not be possible to shoot through it. So this means you have to think about positioning your allies in such a way that your ranged units can still attack the targets, while at the same time you want to make sure that you want to take out some enemies maybe that are blocking a shot at a priority target. Another thing to take account of is minimum range. So if I hover over Hana's snipe ability, the grid will light up, and you'll notice that certain nearby tiles aren't valid because it's below the minimum range. So for now, because of her height, she actually gets a bit of an extended range going, which is nice. And I'm just going to shoot this mercenary cultist here. There we go. And she still has an action point left, but there's not really much she can do right now, and I like where she is, so I'm just gonna end her turn early with an action point left, looking that way. So it's the cultist's turn. He's gonna throw a rock, move. Looks like his friend is gonna try to heal him. And then they're both going for nails, it seems. So now it's our main character's turn, and what I'm going to do is the same as them. So I'm gonna help out Niels here with some first aid, which only costs 1 action point, and then I'm gonna move over here. And I'm going to use the stomach punch ability to hit this guy, flanking him. And then it's his turn. Niels is going to first off heal himself a bit as well. And then let's move over here and just throw a rocket at that guy. Now Martin, as an NPC, will move on his own, and he just completely backstabbed him. Nice. Alright, so 1 is down. Hana here, for example, because this cultist is too close, it says out of range. Tiles like these are being blocked right now because of where this cultist mercenary is. So you don't have to walk around and keep trying. The game will just tell you if it's not possible to hit a certain tile or unit on that tile. So So we're gonna move, and the white line is really convenient to test to see can I hit this guy from here. So if I were to move here, you notice that the line is red because Martin is blocking it. So I'm just gonna move her away here to this corner. And then snipe him. There we go. This turn. Let's just punch him in the back. And you notice he performs a counterattack because of his parrying dagger. And it will be the same for us. So if somebody were to hit Luke here, because he has a parrying dagger in his other hand, he will also always perform a counterattack, but only to melee abilities. And let's just throw a rock at him. Ah, crit. So critical hits is one element of randomness that we did keep, but we decided to make it predictable. So if you look at the UI here, adrenaline determined critical hit chance increases when the unit deals and takes damage. So in the overhead UI you notice that this unit has a red bar which signifies his health, and then the grey bar is the adrenaline. So as you focus on units, you'll notice that they will keep building adrenaline, and then when it's finally their turn, they have a very high crit chance. So how does adrenaline work? Well, right now I just crit it, meaning my adrenaline dropped back to 0. So every time you hit an enemy or you take damage, your adrenaline will increase. And it can go from 0 to 100, which directly translates to percentage. So if I have 50 adrenaline, I have a 50% chance on my next ability or attack that I do that it will be a critical hit. If it does not critically hit, then the adrenaline will build based on the unit's skill stat. So this way we decided to still have some element of randomness, but you can kind of plan around it, and also you can sort of predict when it's going to happen. So you definitely need to keep an eye on it for both your own units as well as enemy units. And this way, if you don't get a crit for a very long time, eventually you're guaranteed to get it. So this is kind of one way we wanted to keep the random element while at the same time making it predictable. Alright, so I'm out of action points. I'm just gonna move away from him now. And come on my back. It's usually a good idea. So I think this guy isn't gonna live much longer anymore, so I'm just going to, for example, right here I have 10 adrenaline, meaning my next attack will be 10% chance to crit, which isn't that high. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use Kidney Shot, which is only 1 action point, which doesn't deal as much damage as an ability that costs 2 action points. So by doing that, I've just increased my adrenaline to 15. And now I'm going to use the Venom Sting ability. Didn't crit either, and build up to 20. So strategy you can do is use lighter attacks that don't deal as much damage when you have a low crit chance to build up adrenaline so that you can use your more damaging abilities and try to crit on that. Early tips. Alright, he's almost dead. He's used first aid and removed the poison I applied. So because we've been... scored a counterattack kill.
This way now. There's more cultists ahead. Good opportunity to see if you remember how to use your body alchemy in battle. Take these throwing knives. Like regular equipment, they're equipped with the mercenary menu. Consumable items can only be used once, but don't cost any extra action points to use. Keep track of them. They can be real tide turners in battle.
Alright, so Martin just informed us about body alchemy, and this is going to be one of the core features of Black Legend. In the next combat bit we'll show it off completely, but for now we're kind of free to explore a little bit. So let's check out what's up with this gate here. Locked by some contraption. Okay, so need something for that. This area looks like we're blocked off in this part of the street. We found a Francisca axe. Interesting. And then I spotted this thing over here. Aha, you've obtained a steel spear, and because we found a spear, the game checks like what other equipment do you have, and apparently we can now make the Plague Doctor class and the Landsknecht. So I'll just Go my inventory again. And let's see here. Select class. So the Landsknecht is a soldier who lives and dies by the spear. They use heavy armor and they focus on restricting mobility and offensive capabilities of others. But their defenses aren't as interesting as the other heavy armor classes. So this looks like something I want to do for our main character, so I'll just select the class. And we'll notice he immediately switches to heavy armor and equips the spear. So what ability can he use now? Leg sweep. Employ a long weapon to sweep the target to the ground, reducing their mobility. So it deals damage, it applies stacks of Negro and it reduces the target's movement. Now because we don't want to sacrifice the abilities we've already known as a mercenary, we're just going to cross-class those. All three of them. And then we're going to follow Martin's advice. So he told us equip those throwing knives he just gave us, as well as anything else we found. So items, as you said, they don't cost any action points to use. They're completely free actions, but you can only have 2. So let's see here. For a main character, I definitely want to equip some vitriol and enable autofill. This just means that if the item gets used in combat, which you can only do once, after combat it will automatically refill it if you have some left in stock. And then we're gonna equip these throwing knives. So it's a simple balanced blade that can be thrown to damage a distant enemy and apply rubido. I'll just equip that as well. And I think it's smart to do the same for the other characters real quick. Equip autofill. And then for Hannah, I'll give her some vitriol and this philosopher's stone. So that's a powerful alchemical creation that can reawaken the dead, revives a fallen unit, and restores 10% of their maximum HP. So should something go bad, we'll have a backup medic in Hannah. Don't disappoint us. There we go. So it looks like our party is now properly equipped for their for the next part. We're just gonna move on. And already I'm spotting this lantern here, which I was told to keep an eye out for, so let's knock on this door.
Cultists don't knock on doors. Who are you? Well, unless you're here with food or antidote, piss off. Let a man and his family starve to death in peace.
So, yeah, the local population seems to be struggling a bit. Hiding from the cultists. Seems Martin is also in trouble. But I'm not gonna help him just yet. Notice that the street looks a bit interesting, and it is. We found some balancing pallets, some vitriol, and a bloodstained nail. So let's check those out. Items. So the balancing pallets are small pills that balance the humors in the body, removing all alchemy stacks. We're gonna find out in a bit what those are exactly, and then it looked like we got a key item as well. So the customs key we received to open the gate in the beginning, that has a description. A lot of the story in the game will be told through these descriptions, so for those who want to get some more details about the world in general, we'll probably want to pick up every item and check out the descriptions. As for the other item, the Bloodstained Nail, it's a rusty nail with dark bloodstains around it. Using these to nail a coin to a quarter tree is believed to heal any ailment. So in a bit we're gonna figure out what exactly we can do with that. Let's check out the rest of this alley. Oh, there's another chest where we found a black sword. Not mean to switch classes. So for Niels here, he's currently equipped with a hand axe, which gives him more strength and health. But I've decided that I want to check out the black sword. So the black sword gives 8% in all stats. So that seems to be an upgrade. So I'm just going to equip that on him. Looking good. And then we notice this similar gate here. So that opens now. And it seems to be a shortcut back to the area where we just came from. So should we ever see some enemies here that we don't want to fight, we can just walk around them. And we've also received another item, a black pearl. Check that out later. For now, we've kept Martin waiting long enough, so we're gonna help him out. So again, we're gonna place our units. I want my ranged characters on a higher vantage point. I want melee units to be at the front line. The faster they are, the more to the front I want them. Alright, that looks good.
Will not last long without knowing the body alchemy. There are 4 bodily humors, each represented by a color: red, black, white, and yellow. Some of these abilities are marked with colors and will imply stacks of imbalance for that humor. Once the right amount has been applied, you can catalyze them. I'll apply Negretto, a black color, with a rock. Then I throw a knife to apply Rubeto, a red color. Catalyzing strike will catalyze the two into a crimson catalyst.
Mark's gonna throw a rock, which applied Negretto, and then he threw a dagger, which applied Rubeto. Then he's gonna go with catalyzing strike, and did a lot of damage.
Catalyzing them is the best way to deal damage in combat. Keep an eye on your units. Cultists also know how to fight this way. Remember that white and red do not match, neither do black and yellow. Any stacks that don't have a match will remain on the target. Don't disappoint me. Use those knives and rocks to finish quickly.
Alright, so the Alchemy System, the thing we advertised as being our main innovation for combat in this game. So, as he just explained, we have 4 colors: red, black, yellow, and white. And by applying stacks of these colors on an enemy, we can use our catalyzing strike, or in Hannah's case, her catalyzing shot, to sort of fuse these bodily imbalances together into what is known as a catalyst, and that will deal a lot of damage. The more stacks you can fuse together, the more damage you deal, and it's not exponentially, but definitely worth it. For every extra stack, you deal significantly more damage. So if I were to apply Rubedo with his throwing dagger on this mercenary here, I can then move in. Because Kidney Shot only costs an action point, I can apply Rubedo here, and as you can see right now, this with the red triangle on the top, that indicates that right now, because one red stack and one black stack are on this target, I can catalyze a single crimson catalyst, which is red and black together. Now, if there were 2 stacks of red and 2 stacks of black, it would be 2 stacks of the crimson catalyst, which would be do even more damage, but he's almost dead anyway, so I'm just gonna go for it. That's the red blood is just being drained from his body. And that is how a lot of the combat in Black Legend will go. So you want to sort of look at what each class can bring to you in terms of these colors with their abilities, and sort of plan ahead how every unit can bring the most of these colors to the enemies in battle. So for example, look here will be good for applying white stacks and black stacks. And then Hannah's snipe ability will apply 2 black stacks. So she will work together really well with people who also have white stacks or red stacks. Yellow stacks are less interesting to her because black and yellow do not match. So for now we're just gonna have her, let's see, let's move her to the back. And then use her snipe ability to apply 2 of these black stacks and Negretto. Next turn is Niels, and Niels is going to use his throwing dagger. Let's use that on him. So now he has 2 black stacks and 1 red stack. Just to show off what is going to happen is the red stack is going to fuse with one of the black ones, but the second black one will be unused. So if I catalyze him now, the remaining black stack did not find a pair, so it's going to stay on the target, and that's going to be convenient for when my next turn comes. But first it's the enemy. He's just gonna use a catalyzing strike on Martin. And then this other mercenary is gonna throw a rock. Apply a stack of Nigredo on us. Okay, so now he has one black stack. And I can choose here. I don't think he will live long enough, so I'm just gonna go for his back to avoid his shield. Use the stomach punch ability. Apply another stack of red, so he's ready to get catalyzed. I'm just gonna go for it. There you go. Back stuff. So not only do your abilities deal damage, if you use the catalyzing strike, it will also fuse all these things together. And that is how you fight most efficiently in our game. So it's Hanno's turn again. Again, I'll just shoot him safely from distance. Apply 2 black stacks. Everybody looks healthy still. I can't really reach one of my allies. I'm just gonna end her turn. For Niels, he can't reach the enemy right now, so I'm just gonna throw a rock at him. Critical rock. Heal himself. There we go. So the enemy's healing himself as well. Flanking Martin. Yeah, the first aid ability is really useful. Will definitely help you. So he got flanked with a crit. And a counterattack, fortunately. So he has 3 black stacks now. So what I can do is, if I use Venom Sting, now this one lights up. So we've been catalyzing Crimson this entire time. There are 4 catalysts. There we have Crimson, which is black and red. Then we have black and white, which gives us silver. We have white and yellow, which gives us gold. And we have yellow and red, which will give us bronze. Every catalyst right now just deals damage, but after this fight I'm going to show you how you can spice up your body alchemy game a bit. So because I don't have enough action points for a catalyzing strike, I'm instead going to spend that on healing myself. And then running away. Right. So I think I can set this up now. So I could just hit him and kill him, but just to show this off, if I hit him with a stomach punch, now I have 3 stacks of black, 1 stack of red, 1 stack of white. If I'm gonna hit, which I will, if I hit him now, what is going to happen is the system detects 1 red stack and 1 white stack. So that means it's always the minimum of stacks that counts. Meaning you will get 1 stack of crimson and then 1 stack of silver. And because both of these are triggered at the same time, we're going to do a lot of damage even though he's almost dead anyway.
The entrance to the Merchant's Guild is up ahead. You go on first, unless I've impressed on you enough to warrant a spot amongst your crew.
So Martin here is offering to join us, and we can now check out recruitment. So throughout the city we will find new units and we can recruit these, and we will see this window. So Martin is level 3, has pretty good stats, comes with a long sword and a leather tunic tier 2. So what does that do? We only have tier 1 leather tunic, so I definitely want him. It says removes a humor stack at the start of each turn. So every time it's Martin's turn, one of the humor stacks on him will just disappear, which is really nice for us. Will keep us a bit safer. He also comes with a trinket called the Black Pearl, which is a jet black shiny bead, and it will increase the damage against targets with Nigredo stacks by 10% for every stack. So trinkets is how we spice up our body alchemy game. So if I have, for example, Hannah with her snipe ability applying black stacks everywhere, then Martin will benefit from that because every stack of Nigredo will increase the damage he does to the target by 10%. So at 3 stacks he just deals 30% more damage. So I definitely want him in my party. If I do not want him in my party, I can always send him to the barracks, or I can just skip him and say I don't even want you in my barracks, just go away. So who did we replace? I'm sorry, Niels, but Martin is higher level, And we're filthy min-maxers, so we're gonna do that. It seems that Martin wants us to head that way. So let's just take him up on his offer and head to the Merchants Guild. Already a very different part of the city. So it says talk to Johan at the Merchants Guild. This area is going to be our main headquarters. Here we have some NPCs standing around, which we will chat with in a bit. Let's see here. I am not too hurt, but we have this nice and pretty tree. It says quarter tree stands tall in the city. Use a bloodstained nail to fully restore your party health. So on normal difficulty and above, if you take damage in combat, your units will stay damaged. On easy, you will always get a full heal at the end. Keep an eye out for these trees in the city. They will act sort of as your checkpoints as long as you have a bloodstained nail. But right now we're at full health. We don't need it, so I'm gonna hang on to it for later. And let's check out what the people here have to say.
New arrivals to the city. Well, well, look at you all. Sight for sore eyes. Weapons and armor kept in fine condition. Seen their fair share of wear and tear, and rust, of course. To be used as their purpose, after all. But you let them fulfill it with dignity. Pah, babbling like a foolish child at some attire. I'm Oliver, Master of Arms for the Gilded Claw. If you're in need of equipment, speak to me. Stock is limited at the moment. Not much to find with the court about. What can I do for you?
Alright, so he's the Master of Arms for the Gilded Claw Resistance. And so we can check out what he has. It seems he has a quest for us, so we can just have a nice little chat with him. So first off, I just want to see what he has in store. And yep, he didn't lie. He sells weapons. I think I have most of these already, except for the rapier. And if I look here, the rapier teaches an ability for the duelist class. So I think I'll just buy one of those. And then the parrying dagger also teaches an ability for the duelist. So I'll buy that as well. If there's anything I don't need right here, I can just sell it off. So maybe sell him a longsword, get some extra cash. And after buying that rapier, I heard the sound that I've unlocked a new class.
Come back in one piece, you hear me? These weapons get lonely without an owner.
So let's go check that out in our mercenary window. Martin is still a mercenary, so let's just check and see what we got. So we unlocked the duelist class because we bought a rapier and we have a parrying dagger, which is a valid combination for the duelist. So masters of the dueling skills, prowess is seldom matched. Let's see, they dress in light armor, and a true strike deserves to reach its mark unhindered by plates of steel. So a duelist is a light armor class that uses rapiers and parrying daggers. And the abilities is a swift kick to the lower regions, which I'm a big fan of. Applies albedo and only costs 1 action point, so that's going to be really useful for us. And then a head attack will slash above the eyes to cause blood flowing into them to reduce visibility. Deals damage, applies rubido, and inflicts blinded, which reduces marksmanship. So this looks like it's an ability that we definitely want to use on enemy ranged units. So I'll just make Martin a duelist. And look at the beautiful blade. So as you can see, his skills have already changed because he's equipped with both of these. And because he knows these abilities as a mercenary, we're just going to cross-class them. And now we have a full party of units that are no longer mercenaries, so becoming real professionals already. Now I was interested in the quest he has for us, so we're going to talk to him about that.
Good steel for pistols and rifles is hard to come by nowadays. Next best thing would be a crossbow, but I'm all out of string. Our contact spotted a barrel of string sitting by the harbour district. Didn't want to risk getting cornered by the cops, so they left me there. If you retrieve these for me, I can provide you and the Gilded Claw with a steady stream of ranged weaponry. The Harbor District can be reached from the Commoner District. Just keep heading north, then head east to reach the harbor. What can I do for you?
Alright, so we just picked up a side quest. It's called Pulling the Strings. So he wants us to go to the Harbor District, which he just told us is accessible from the Commoner District. Then head east. And he wants us to retrieve the bowstrings from a barrel there.
Come back in one piece, you hear me? These weapons get lonely without an owner.
So I figure for today's demonstration, let's go do that quest. But, let's just talk to this fine lady here.
Oh, fresh meat for the Gilded Claw. About time we got some new meat. Most prefer cowering in their houses, hiding from the cold instead of fighting back. My name's Karen. I'm in charge of recruitment for Little Resistance. Not that there's been much work. Most civilians aren't interested, and neither are the mercenaries that come into the city, despite Johan's best efforts. Resistance can show some actual resistance against the cultists. It might inspire folks to pick up arms and fight alongside us. Traveling in large groups through the city isn't the most efficient thing. Lucky for you, I can help with that. Until you need them, anyone willing to join the effort will be whipped into proper fighting shape by me personally. Stay on the lookout for potential recruits in the city. Show them a bit of kindness, and I'm certain they'll repay you with their loyalty. What can I help you with?
Alright, so we found Karen, who is in charge of managing our party members. So if I go here, you can see that Niels has been safely placed into the barracks. So suppose we lose a unit when we're out venturing in the city, we can either hope that we come across someone to recruit on the spot, or else we're gonna have to make a dangerous journey when we're short a party member back to the Merchants Guild to pick up one of our older members. So definitely do not want to lose a unit out in the city and have to make a trek back here. So, but if you can't avoid it, then this is how we're gonna make sure that we keep a stock of invaluable units to our team. What does this wonderful chap have to say?
Why, hello there. Stumbled into hell, have we? If you're ever in need of medical supplies or other tools, come visit me. Providing aid and relief in these trying times is about all I can do these days. Been aching to do some alchemy again. What do you require, friend of the claw?
So he's another shopkeeper, it seems. What does he sell? He sells some vitriol, which is nice for us. Let's buy a few of those. So we have some money to spend. Some throwing daggers, which look really cheap. And are super useful. Some balancing pallets. Let's get one of them. Philosopher's Stone are quite pricey. Some Bloodstained Nails, which are also relatively expensive, and there's some Geneva, which removes all temporary negative status effects. Fortunately, we can't afford that unless... Let's sell an axe. Let's buy some good old Dutch Geneva. Just have a talk with him.
Besides potions, I tend to what little herbs we have here at the guild. Lot of it goes to bribing the Mephistians. Until we get a decent fighting force, paying them off with supplies is our best course of action. The robed freaks always carry a supply of antidote on them. Most of what we give them must go to the production of that stuff. Cult has some skilled alchemists in their upper ranks being able to reproduce Mephisto's antidote. As for the lower ranks, from what little I've spoken with them, they seem to revere alchemy as something more than what it is. Dumb, what do you require, friend of the
Dumb
claw?
as bricks, all of them.
Keep the wind in your sails.
Alright, so by talking to NPCs, we learned a bit more about the situation that's going on. So it seems that the Gilded Claw here is having some issues fighting back against the cultists, and we're gonna go help them a bit. First of all, by supplying them with some crossbows, I think. So this side quest here looks interesting. We picked up some supplies, so we're gonna go head out now and see if we can find that barrel. Back outside, it seems that there are some wild dogs here. That unfortunately it does look like we can avoid them. So let's just let's battle them. There's some wild hounds to fight this time. I'm gonna put Hannah on the box here. Put Luke, Tokyo Game Show 2020. Martin at the front line. Just gonna hit start. So because Luke's agility is still the highest, what we can do here is go to the back of this wild hound, throw a dagger at him. To apply Rubido, I'm gonna use my kidney shot to apply Nigrido, and then with Venom Sting we apply Albedo. So already he has like 3 stacks and 2 catalysts ready to go. Unfortunately, the next 3 turns all belong to the enemy. So let's see what the dogs are going to do to us. It's gonna bite us with an infected bite. Looks like we caught rabies. Looks like Martin has the same issue. He's going to do a counterattack. Infected bite. So they seem to apply these yellow stacks called Citrinidus, and because Martin is wearing his tier 2 uniform, it removes a random stack at the start of his turn, so that yellow stack is now gone on him, which is really good for us. And let's see here, there's the hound that we've applied some stacks to. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go to this hound's back and do the old western kick the dog moment. Sorry, doggy. You attacked us first. I'm gonna go move over here and make good use of these stacks. I'm gonna get Crimson and Silver this time. And take care of the first dog. Now, because the infected bite applied disease, we can check that over here. So the unit is gonna take damage at the start of his turn, and it has a chance to spread. So what happened is, because Hannah here is standing next to our character, she also caught a disease, and the damage is gonna increase every turn, so we want to end this fight before that happens. So with this white stack on him, I can use the leg sweep ability to apply black, and then throw another dagger. Let's see if we can take care of that disease with our remaining action point. Nope. So we got some health back, but the 50% chance to also remove a stats effect didn't occur, unfortunately. So I'm just gonna isolate myself and do something we all got used to in these times. Right, so it's Hannah's turn right now. Unfortunately, because she's on a crate, her range has increased, but that also means her minimum range has increased, so she can't shoot this dog from here. So we're gonna have to move her first. And then she can fire away. Again, because we applied the stacks, we're dealing quite a bit of damage that way. And she just leveled up. So by catalyzing enemies and just using the game's general mechanic, you get bonus XP as well. What can we do with our remaining action point? Let's apply first aid to see if we can get rid of the disease here. Yes, success. So she's now disease free. That just leaves one dog. He's going to go for Luke with a rip and tear. He is applied bleeding. So now we both have disease and we're bleeding. The unit takes damage for every tile it moves. So this isn't good because, well, we can't, if we gonna try to flank him. We're gonna take some damage. Gonna 1, 2, 3, 4 tiles. So what I'm gonna try to do is first apply first aid, and that removed the bleeding. So now we can safely flank this dog without taking damage from the bleed. We're gonna go for the venom sting. Critical backstab. Nice. Okay, so the dog here has 1 white stack. So what I'm going to do is walk up to the front. It's about as close as I can get. We can go for a head attack. So he has a red stack and a white stack. These two do not match. So we're basically setting up our next unit in this case. Because of that, let's just focus on some healing. Did not remove the disease, unfortunately. So Anna is now going to apply 2 black stacks on him. And receive another level. And then our main character is just going to deliver the final blow. There we go. So it seems that the dogs have dropped some goodies for us, which we can now pick up at the end of combat. It seems they must have eaten some coins off the ground. And we can pick up the ones from this by climbing up on this crate. So yeah, we got some money that we can spend later in the store. Maybe buy some new supplies. Just makes this treasure chest. Found a jar of sulfur. Let's check out what that is. Inventory. Looked like it was a trinket. Jar of sulfur. A small jar containing powdered sulfur, an essential element required for living cells to function, kept by some in hopes of enhanced and healthier performance. Catalyzing gold on an enemy increases skill by 15% per stack. So what this equipping this will do, whenever our character catalyzes gold, which is yellow and white together, for every stack of gold that they manage to catalyze, their skill stat is going to increase by 15%, so up to a maximum of 45% for the rest of combat. Right now we don't really have a way to apply Citrinitas, it seems. Although, if I pay good attention, it seems the Plague Doctor has an ability that applies a yellow stack. So we may want to give that to a Plague Doctor later. But for now, we'll just equip it on our main character. Maybe we find another source of the yellow stacks. Let's continue here. Unlocked by some contraption. You can see some doggies through the gate. And there's a lantern here, so let's knock on the door and see if the person inside has something to say.
Another one of those damned cultists, are you? Begone! You've already taken my son. All you will find here is a piece of lead headed for the spot between your eyes.
So yeah, the local population isn't too friendly to people knocking on their doors. Seems they think everybody is a cultist. And speaking of, we can already see some ahead. So one is armed with a crossbow, the other one has an axe and a pistol. And that one looks like he has a rapier and something else in his hand. I think it's also a pistol. So it doesn't seem like we can avoid them. So we're just gonna have to fight them this time. Let's pick this up first. So found a leather tunic at tier 2. Let's just let's see. Since Luke is a bit of our frontline fighter, I think he can make best use of that. So let's just equip it to him. And why should we hide that beautiful hair of his? Let's take the hat off. There you go. Looking good. Remember, fashion is important in saving cursed cities, especially in the fog. Alright, so we have a sharpshooter, a buccaneer. So by paying attention to the enemy, you can actually kind of learn that, okay, buccaneers can use pistols and axes. So I know I have axes in my inventory, but I haven't found a pistol yet. So I figure once I find a pistol, I can unlock the buccaneer class. Until then, let's hope maybe one of these two drops their pistol for us. Let's see, let's put Hammer to the back here. Main character can already flank this sharpshooter. Let's put Martin in the front, and then look ready to fight as well. So let's see here. First off, just gonna heal up to full health with my potion, which is a free action. Then I'm gonna do my trick. So I know throwing daggers, for example, can't crit, but I am building adrenaline now, so already at 6% chance. I'm gonna use kidney shot, which is also a low damaging ability. It's now already at 12% crit chance, so let's see if our venom sting is lit. Nope. Now I am moving back here again, just to create some space for my allies, because units cannot move through each other. So with all this freedom of movement and action, you definitely want to think ahead and make sure that your units have plenty of space to move. This one is unfortunately just in cover, but if I take a step forward, I can just reach him. Bam, taken out. Used head attack. That's it, okay. Let's do the same to him, but first we're gonna kick him in the face. And then we're gonna use the head attack on him as well. So now he just needs a stack of black or yellow, and then we can capitalize this guy. Ooh, I drank a bottle of rum and decided to shoot Hannah. For you, I'm gonna use leg sweep to apply a block. I'm gonna throw a dagger at him. So we're gonna plan ahead a bit. So my last action point, I'm gonna apply a second red stack to this guy, because I can tell here that Hannah's turn is coming up next. And with the snipe I can apply 2 black stacks on him. So now he already has 2 crimson stacks all prepped up on him. Let's use that last action point to heal. Duelist's turn. Go for Martin. So I definitely want to catalyze as often as possible with Luke, and the reason for that are his stats. So because he's a rogue, a lot of his, every time he levels up, all his stats will go up, but in different varieties. So the class determines how your characters will grow. And for rogues, for example, they will get a lot of agility, as you can see. He has 27, and they get a lot of skill. And just to go over the stats, so strength will increase melee damage, which you'll notice is a bit less. Say all these abilities that he's using, it will they will scale with strength. Then we have marksmanship, which is very important for Hannah here, who because that affects mainly your range damage abilities. That includes throwing rocks and stuff. And then skill is a bit of the odd one out, so it increases catalyst damage. So you can apply stacks by all units, but if you're going to catalyze, you definitely want to check out which of my units has the highest skill, because the damage is going to scale with that skill stat. Then also healing potency and adrenaline generation. So my rogue is very good at catalyzing units. If he were to switch to a healer class at some point, that would be very beneficial because of the high skill. And then as adrenaline generation, he's going to crit a lot. And later you can find maybe trinkets or specific weapons that have special effects when you crit. We definitely want to give that to a character with a high skill. And then agility will improve your initiative, which means when your turn comes, it will also increase your maximum movement. So this can, by the end of the game, you will probably have a lot more freedom, and you can dart across the battlefield if you have characters with high agility. And then finally, stamina will improve your hit points, which he doesn't have a lot of, so rogues are very vulnerable, while characters with heavy armor, like Landsknecht, for example, their stamina stat will scale up a lot quicker. So enough about that, let's just get a satisfying catalyst with 2 stacks on this guy on a character that has high skill. So 56 damage. Almost instantly go him. And let's put the rest of that skill to good use by hitting up our main character a bit. And remove his blindness. There we go. So this guy already has 3 stacks on him, so I'm just going to capitalize him as well. There we go. Ooh, one of them dropped something. 2 throwing daggers. It's going to be convenient for later. If we look through here, these were the obstacles that were blocking us at the very beginning. And let's see here, we have some more cultists. Look like one is a rogue, the other one has a rapier, and then they have one of their dogs with them. So we can try to sneak past maybe. Let's just fight him. To the back and then the front again. Take out that rope really quickly. As we level up, we're gonna notice that enemies are gonna have a lot more health, and we're gonna need a lot more stacks applied before we can do this much damage. So in the early stages of the game, we're taking care of them pretty quickly, but as we progress, the cult is gonna send more dangerous there's some more dangerous members after us, and they won't go down as easy. Just gonna go for the 2 red, 2 black stacks here. Or 3 maybe. Put my back to the wall so they can't backstab us. That's the first thing they're going to do. I'm going to throw a rocket. Look here. And he's going to heal his pet. Now I feel bad. Not as much though. So I took care of the dog, and then we're gonna go kick this cultist throwing a rock at us. Gonna snipe him. Let's see here. Can I reach look here? Look a bit. Removing his bleeding. So you notice that look right now has a red stack and a black stack on him, so that means this cultist's turn arrives before us. It's a very high chance that he's gonna try to catalyze us. So we're not gonna let that happen, but because the tier 2 armor that we have on, the effect just kicked in, so we can save from that now. Let's see here. Go for 2 silver stacks, so he needs another one of the white. And I just critically flanked him. Excellent. Apply some first aid, and then I think our main character can do the final blow. Yes. Some silver, let's see, what did we get? Some more money. It's gonna be convenient for later. Let's see, because World Animal Day is coming up soon. I'm gonna try to avoid these dogs, because I spotted a treasure chest over there. Got a stained glass shard. Let's just get to safety first. Check out what that is. Was a trinket. Stained glass shard. A shard of glass in bright red. It used to be part of a stained glass window where it depicted the now lost saint's robes. Catalyzing crimson on an enemy increases strength by 15% for each stack. So this is really good for our melee units, because that means that every time we manage to apply the crimson catalyst, if this unit is the one who catalyzes it, they're just gonna get a massive strength boost for the rest of the fight. Definitely something we want to use. And because our main character can easily apply crimson with both a leg sweep and a stomach punch, I think it's best served if we put it on him. There we go. Let's see here. Let's give Martin some items like some vitriol and some Geneva, just in case. Let's see here. Everybody else still good? Yep. Let's continue our journey then. act. You have obtained an item, Steel Halberd. Let's check that out. So, a halberd, we did not get a notification that we unlocked a new class, so it means that all the classes we have right now, it means that the classes we have right now can use the weapon, and we didn't discover anything new. So let's check here and see. Steel Halberd teaches an ability for our Landsknecht. It teaches Heavy Thrust, which is 2 white stacks. So this will be great if now if we equip this on our main character, then he will have excellent synergy with Hannah here because she has 2 black stack, an ability that lets her apply 2 black stacks. So by equipping this weapon, I now have access to this ability, but my old leg sweep ability got grayed out. So that means that I haven't used the leg sweep ability in combat enough to permanently learn it. So if I enter combat now, I would be able to use the heavy thrust ability, but no longer be able to use leg sweep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to equip the steel spear back on him. And this way we can continue using leg sweep until we've permanently learned it, and then we can swap weapons to the steel halberd and start learning this while keeping our leg sweep. And there's somebody standing here. Let's just go have a chat.
Damn it! First I lose my group, then I get stabbed by one of those crazies. You there! Think you could spare some vitriol? If the cult doesn't finish me off, the infection will. Do this for me, and I'll fight another day at your side.
So a bit of a UI issue. Of course, we're still in full development. So things like this, as we spot them, they will get fixed in the end, don't worry. So he's asking for a little vial of vitriol, and this is one of those stranded NPCs that the recruitment lady was telling us about. So she said if you showed him some kindness along the way, you might get their loyalty. And I can spare a bottle of vitriol, so let's just give him one.
That is the spot. Don't think I'll see my old friends again. If you want, I'll stick around with you people for a while. How about it?
So, Tail here wants to join us. He comes with a rapier and a leather tunic. Hasn't learned any abilities yet. So, right now we don't really have a use for him, so I'm just gonna send him to the barracks.
You are too kind. Shall we get going then?
There you go, so he'll be fine now. We have another backup unit should something go horribly wrong with us. Let's see here. So yeah, it seems that the Mephistian cult has had some activity here. And it looks like a warning, which we're gonna try to ignore, but unfortunately that gate is locked. Let's see here. Try to avoid the doggies a bit. Just keep exploring the commoner district some more. Our party members from the last battle. Ooh. Goodies. Molotovs. That looks like a consumable item. So, bottle of refined alcohol with a hempen fuse can be thrown to deal damage in an area, inflict burning, and set fire to the ground. Well, I'm a big fan of a nice bonfire, so let's see, who shall we give these to? Let's give these to Luke. Molotovs, there we go. And treasure chest, so Philosopher's Stone, which is really nice, and then some balancing pallets. Let's see, I vowed to be nice to the doggies for now, so let's go head the other way. What's this? Dark depths, overwhelming sense of fear. It would be unwise to enter without proper guidance, so something here that we can't access yet, but definitely keeping an eye out for those. And this spot looks interesting. So there's this will take us to the harbor district, which is exactly where we need to be for our barrel of strings. So let's just head on in there. There we are. So I can already hear some ocean sounds, some seagulls, and I see some dogs in the distance. Also snitch some cultists, locked by some contraption. Okay, so it looks like this is going to be a shortcut later on. Just keep moving on. It looks like it's unavoidable, unfortunately. So 4 wild hounds are. Looks like this pack is gonna attack us. So I'm gonna put Martin to the front. Luke, Homer. Put her on a bear crate, so she has maximum range. Let's see here. So the Molotov. You can hit both hounds with this, so yeah, let's just do that. There you go. So now the hounds are on fire. It's gonna take damage every turn and apply a stack of yellow as part of the burning status effect. So that's another fire is another source of yellow, so we're gonna use that to our advantage later. Apply poison as well, so they take even more damage every turn, and then just throw in a stack of black as well. Let's see here. That dog is next, so definitely keep my backside away. No, that can help. He's infected us with his teeth. So now we have a stack of yellow, stack of white, stack of black, which means we have gold and silver together. Now Martin doesn't have any trinkets that interact with this, but our main character does. So we can just kill this dog or leave him and then empower our main character by having his trinkets activate. But for now I think it's more important to actually let's just do that. So I'm just gonna keep this one alive and apply a red stack as well. So now we have the full wheel active. If we catalyze this dog, they will take a lot of damage. And if you can probably imagine if you can get 12 stacks on a creature and you catalyze it with a high skilled character, they're just gonna explode. Alright, so let's create some room for the rest of our units and not expose our back to this doggy here, who is undeterred by the fire and will go through it to bite our Look here, and then the other one will bite Martin. Let's see if Anna can reach this one. 2 stacks of black. Just gonna establish us to move through the fire. I kinda locked her in here, so I'm just gonna have her stay. This dog has to unfortunately run through the fire, and every tile they walk through, they're gonna take quite a bit of damage. It's also gonna reapply the burning. So we got diseased. Just gonna do a leg sweep on this dog. Again, I want to keep using these abilities so that our main character learns them. And then I'm gonna throw a dagger as well. So now we have the bronze catalyst and crimson ready to go. Just gonna create some space. Use the last action point, doing some first aid. Didn't get rid of the disease, but got healed up. And it seems that this one collapsed due to poison and fire. It's alright. This one has 2 black stacks. I'm gonna add a white one. I'm gonna add a red one. And I want to get rid of this disease, so I'm just gonna drink some Geneva. Perfect. And why not drink vitriol as well? Heal up back to full. Already thinking ahead for the next fight. Just healing in combat. Seems that Hannah got infected. None of these people are vaccinated. All these infections going around. Okay, so this hound is, I think, ready to get catalyzed. Let's just give the catalyzed a shot. There we go. Use another action point to heal up. That doggy burned to death. And then let's just, yeah, because of the bleeding, you notice it just took a lot of damage there because every tile that we moved, the bleed did some damage to us. So definitely have to pay attention. Right now we moved to bleeding. Should have done that first before deciding to move. Heal that up with a vitriol, and then go for the so critical backstab. Gold is ready to go. Still some movement left, so I'm just gonna create some space at the back. And I think, yeah, because we stun him. Oh, we can check. So now if I hit this, I think his skill stat will go up, but because it's the last enemy, we're not gonna see it in action. Oh, UI disappeared. Yeah, that's, that was the gold catalyst. So found some throwing daggers, some more money. More vermilion. Some more supplies there. So that looks like some more doggies and cultists together on the docks. I didn't see a barrel that really is trying to catch our attention. Let's see if we've learned the ability yet. I believe we did. Might have to test that in combat later. But, let's just give the halberd a spin. Let's try to do that combo. So the 2 white stacks and then with Hana's shot, 2 black stacks. Let's test that out on these guys. Front. Let's go for this Sharpshooter first. First with a weaker attack to build up some adrenaline. Then I'll throw this Molotov as well. I've already pumped us up to 18. Let's see if we can get lucky. Yes, we did. We got a critical backstab. So this guy's already almost dead just by planning around our adrenaline. So even though it's random, we can definitely strategize a bit with it. That's one already done. I'm not gonna jump in the fire with Martin just to kick a dog. That would be incredibly mean both to Martin and to the dog. Even though the dog is causing us to bleed. So these dogs can apply yellow and red from what I've seen so far, and then these other cultists can capitalize over that with their abilities. So eventually you will learn what to look out for and when to try to get rid of stacks. So in this case, let's snipe this cultist hound. Richmond Martin, yeah, we're gonna give him a helping hand with some first aid. There we go. That's this cultist duelist's turn. He's gonna go for our main character, blind. So yeah, no, not learning the ability yet. So we just shot the hounds, now we can use heavy thrust. To have 2 stacks of silver ready and then 1 stack of gold. Let's just complete the whole thing. Throw a dagger in there as well. So now we have 2 stacks of crimson, 2 stacks of silver, 1 stack of gold, and 1 stack of bronze ready to go. I am going to heal up a bit as well. Definitely don't want our main character to die. Let's see, can we reach the dog? Yes, we can. 68 damage just from catalyzing so much, and that wasn't even maximum stacks. So definitely for tougher enemies you want to catalyze as often as possible, with as many stacks as possible. Let's see here, let's help out our main character with our last action point, applying some first aid. Remove the bleeding, and this dog is going to continue biting us. But our armor is going to remove the stacks he applied, so we can get rid of his status effects. Yeah, get rid of the disease. And poison the dog with a venom sting. Let's see here. this cultist duelist we haven't touched yet. I have Hannah start some work on that with 2 stacks of Necrodough. Just gonna go for the fire. And perform my head attack. So yeah, we have a gold stack and a bronze stack now, so Luke is very much in danger, so we have to try to make sure he doesn't get catalyzed. Or we might lose him. Fortunately, we've kind of put him in a corner with the fire there. So I'm just gonna move over, make sure that our other units have space. Get rid of the cultist. Before you can catalyze, look over here. There we go. And let's just apply a second stack of white with a crit on the dog. Because there's 2 white stacks, that means Hannah can capitalize on that by applying 2 black. And then finally our main character can run through the fire for a bit and deal the final blow. There we go. So, how's Luke doing? Hang in there, buddy. It's not far anymore. There's a treasure chest there. More Molotovs and some Vermilion, so we can go shopping when we return to the Merchants Guild. And aha, here they are. So these enemies are also cultists, and they're a bit special. They're called Delirious. So certain cultists are so enamored with the fog that they decided that they just want to fully receive its blessing. Their masks are barely functional. They're not taking enough antidotes, so they're kind of going berserk because of the fog's effect. And these are called the Delirious because of their incessant delirium, and they're gonna try to go into an even deeper state when we're gonna try to fight them here. Yeah, they don't care about their appearances. They're bare-chested. They flagellate themselves. We're gonna put them out of their misery for what they've done to this poor chap up here. Let's go. So we have a Delirious Dragoon, 2 Delirious Rogues, and a Delirious Marauder. Now, the Marauder is using a Great Axe, it seems, and they're all in light armor. So that tells me that if I find a Great Axe, and I already have some light armor, that I can unlock the Marauder ability, Marauder class. And then this Dragoon is wielding a blunderbuss. So again, with light armor, this way I know that if I want to unlock the Dragoon class, I have to find a blunderbuss and give it to someone in light armor. So let's see here. Look, I'm gonna put a bit more to the back because he's still kind of hurt from his previous battle. Our main character, I'm gonna put as close as possible. So we'll do the same with Martin here. I can rotate him to face that way, and then Hannah and Luke are gonna hang out in the back. So yeah, first off, definitely gonna heal myself as much as possible. It's way better. Looks like he's ready to enter the fray. And what better way to do that by just starting a fire. There we go. So not only are they on fire now, but they're gonna have trouble moving through this area, so we can kind of funnel them this way. Let's see here. I'm gonna save my last action point so that my next turn comes a bit quicker. As for this Marauder, I'm kind of scared of that big act, so let's just apply some Rubidoux on him. Set him up for either a black or a yellow stack, and let's keep standard ground in there. So we're gonna try to force them to either walk through the fire or keep this place blocked off with our own units. As you can see, they're fire this blunderbuss. So as you can see, they just cut themselves to enter delirium, and when the delirious enemy does that, they're extremely dangerous. All their stats are increased. But on the right side, they apply 2 stacks of Rubidoux on themselves, and yeah, that just makes it very easy for us, especially for Hana here. Whose crossbow, whose sniper ability works really well with 2 stacks of red, like so. So we can already start a bunch of damage. So definitely want to kill these guys before they, yeah, see, they can take most advantage of their boosted stats. So we just apply 2 black on us. Let's see here. This guy over here. And then up there to get rid of him, so Cal has some bronze on him. Show like the black, the smoke there. And then this guy is already looking nice and stacked up, so I'm just gonna hit him. Catalyze some crimson and bronze on him. And then Luck is having a rough time. So just remove the poison. You notice that the heal didn't do much because being poisoned reduces healing by 50%. So if you have a unit that you want to heal that is poisoned, try to get rid of the poison first. Taking some advantage of the counterattacks here. I'm just gonna have Hana apply 2 stacks of black on this Marauder. Get rid of him as quick as we can because that acts as mean. And help look out a bit. Some more efficient healing now that the poison is gone. Let's just get it. There we go. Give him a little trip down the stairs. Because what good is a game without ragdoll physics, really? Same over here now. Let's try to get a triple stack on this guy. So 3 stacks of red. 1 black. 1 white. Bit of a top-down view there with the camera. Let's see. Let's just kill it. Took a lot of counter-attack damage there, so backstab. There we are. So I found some vermilion, and these guys are carrying quite a bit. Some, not quite the same as here. And there's another lantern hanging here. So I wonder who's home.
Come to have a chat with an old lady, have you? On break from all the murders. Mephisto, Mephisto, Mephisto. That's all you cultists yap on about. That man is why we suffer. Can't you see? Him and those useless council sacks of shite that enlisted his help. You remember how Mephisto didn't return. Remember the pandemonium when the antidote ran out. Remember the screaming that day. And while we're at it, let's remember Christiane Howlands, council member of naval affairs, running from his responsibilities. His proud ass ordered a custom vessel made. Glad his workers tied him to an anchor and tossed him into the sea. A salty death is just what he deserved. And you as well. Go have a swim then. See if you can find him. It's all you cultist bastards are good for. So, you fog-obsessed freaks. This old bat still has some fight left in her.
So what we learned there is a member of the old council apparently tried to flee the city when an event occurred known as Pandemonium, which is the period after Mephisto left. The antidote started to run out, and panic broke out all over the city as people just went completely nuts. So this way we learned a bit of Christiane Huygens, who apparently said, I'm gonna leave the city, but I want a custom vessel for it, so I'm just gonna put some people into labor, and they apparently didn't like that, so they tossed him into the sea. Now let's check up on our units again. So Luke has been a rogue for quite some time, so I'm thinking let's have him become a duelist. Unfortunately, we don't have weapons for him right now, but if we make Martin a rogue, we can not only give him his rogue abilities that he's going to be learning now, but because he has mastered his abilities as duelist, we now can make him a lot more flexible, because we have red, we have white, 2 sources of that. We have a 1 ability point or action point black stack, and 1 action point white stack. That's gonna make him really versatile. Also gonna give him a Molotov, because why not? Hannah has been a sharpshooter for quite some time. We haven't found a new weapon for her yet, and I kinda don't want to switch her because she just having a ranged character is very nice. I'm just gonna set you as a duelist again. This time you do have weapons. And yeah, you learn both these things as a rogue. So we're just going to equip that, and then for the last one, the first aid. So Luke and Martin kind of have the same sets of skills. They're just going to grow differently right now. So duelists will focus a lot on strength, as you can see here from Martin, and movement, and a little bit of skill. Whereas Luke has been a rogue for the most time, so his skill and agility are very high, but he could use some more strength and hit points. So by switching classes as you level up, you can kind of decide, do I want to min-max and just focus on certain stats of a class, or do I want to stay versatile and keep switching classes often? That's completely up to you. Just note that if they die, then all that hard work will have to be done again. Speaking of dying, Luke is looking pretty rough here, and so is Martin at half health. So let's approach the next fight a bit more careful. Because we're playing on normal difficulty, as we walk through the city, we're slowly recovering health, but we're not going to run in circles the entire time. Ooh, a treasure chest. We found our first gun, so let's go check that out. The simple design hides the expert engineering that went into the improved firing mechanism, allowing further range and power. So this rifle will not only give us a new ability, but we've also unlocked a new class with it. The Executioner. So they are proficient with firearms and great axes. So you notice that because we have the wheellock musket equipped, you think, okay, that's a sharpshooter, but with the heavy armor, they're actually executioners. And the ability they can learn is Sever Artery. So we can either do this 2 white stack ability and learn that as an executioner, or we can revert Hana back to a sharpshooter and learn the heated shot ability, which is a source of yellow, and it will also apply burning. So this way we sort of have every color covered now between all of our units, which is what you want to be aiming for. Also going to make a lot more use of this jar of sulfur now that we have a solid way to apply stacks of yellow and just catalyze gold. We also found some better armor. Yeah, medium breastplate tier 2. So this one also removes the humor stack at the start of each turn. Let's just equip that. Let's try and see the difference. So this is the tier 1 version. And this is already a lot nicer with the extra shoulder plates. Show off our wonderful hair, so we don't get helmet hair. There we go. Looking good already. So we see 2 cultists, a dog, and it looks like there's a barrel over there in the distance. That might be exactly what we're looking for. So I'm just gonna rush the guy with the rifle, so we can take him out first. And then these 2 over here are gonna have to catch up to us first. By that time, hopefully we're already done with the sharpshooter. I'm gonna put Han on this crate. Look at Marta behind our main character, so they have some space to heal. There we go. Because this is a sharpshooter, I'm going to use the head attack to blind him. It's going to reduce his marksmanship by 25%. block off is this game group standing here. Do the same with Martin, heal up first a bit. Didn't cross-class his first aid ability, but that's okay. Let's see here. So now we can punch him. We can kick him. And we still have an action point left, so I'm just gonna save that one so our next turn goes a bit faster. I've been itching to use this one. Set this guy on fire as well, so now he has one of every stat. He's poisoned, he's blinded, he's burning, he's just having a really rough day. Move over here, help out Martin a bit more. This poor guy just realized what happened to his friend, and is not even gonna come over. It's like he's done for. He's gonna stay here. All the nice little effects of just catalyzing someone. It's satisfying every time. Looks like those two want to stick together. Be sure they don't run at us one-on-one, that's fine. We're gonna go for a pincer attack. I'm gonna send Martin over here. And unfortunately, Luke is blocking the way through, so I'm just gonna send our character over here as well. Can't reach him because it's less movement. And then Luke is sort of gonna act as bait, I think. Go up a bit. And with one more step, we're gonna hit both of them with this Molotov. Go. Just start a fire already. It looks like Hannah can reach the dog from here. He's already on fire due to the Molotov, so I'm just going to use the sniper ability, which we get to keep permanently, because she's used it enough in combat. Looks like our pincer attack wasn't the smartest choice. We're gonna have to run back. Over here. Alright, let's see. Quake kick, apply some silver and gold, catalyze him, that takes care of the dog. I'm gonna retreat a bit, so because we're kind of low on health, and I should have paid attention and noticed that I was bleeding. This Hada gets it with a crit, excellent. Takes care of that issue. Found some throwing daggers, some more vitriol. It's going to be convenient for the trip back. We found some bowstrings. So our side quest here now tells us that we have to return to the blacksmith at the Merchants Guild. And that might be a good idea because Luke is pretty hurt, and we know the Merchants Guild has a quarter tree, which can heal us to full. I don't think this will open from this side. Nope. Because we cleared most of the way back, we can sort of safely get back to the Commoner District and then back to the Merchants Guild from there. There we go. So it looks like the dogs are still here, and can't really get past them over there. I think I can sneak past these guys. Nope. Oh, look, you're looking pretty rough there. So we're gonna put you at the back. Main character at the front. Give some nice overview to Hannah here. Wake up. Heal up. And I'm not gonna have you be surrounded by these dogs. I'm just gonna have to have you wait there. Enemies really have that for look lately. Not this one though. The last dog's turn. So yeah, dogs are pretty fast, so they are going before our units. It seems only our rogue and our duelists are fast enough to outspeed these dogs. Have fun to jump down from there. Shoot this one. Tell by the abilities that Anna here is able to apply yellow and black, which don't mix together too well, so she needs to be supplemented by the rest of her teammates. Like connecting it with a red, or in this case it's also possible to use white. But I just skip it to this dog right now, so capitalizing him. Then I still have an action point left, so let's just apply some red here. Yeah, triggers bronze on this guy. With a swift kick. Take care of that dog. So 2 stacks of white, let's supplement that. 2 stacks of black, that means 2 stacks of silver, which Martin can then take care of. There you go. Sorry doggies, we're on our way back. Let's see some more cultists before the Merchants Guild. Let's take care of those. So they have a rogue and a duelist. So go for poison. 2 stacks of white. This rogue doesn't have a parrying dagger, but a pistol instead. So that tells me that if I find a pistol, I can also give to a rogue, and they can probably learn some abilities with it. So let's hope that he drops it, but chances are pretty low. Let's just kill him first, then spend the last action point on healing our hero. Stacks of white on you. Red. Throwing dagger for the second red. And let's drink up. Let's just will this be enough? Maybe? Yes. So he dropped parrying dagger, unfortunately nothing else. Let's just go turn in our quest. Talking to our good friend here.
Splendid. These components will keep us stocked for a while. Take these as a token of my gratitude. You've earned it. What can I do for you?
So he gave us a Balestrino and a crossbow, and by giving us the Balestrino, we've unlocked the Inquisitor class. Also in his shop, he now sells these crossbows, which gives us a bit of a range, more of a ranged option.
These weapons get lonely without an owner.
let's just check out what we just received. So, select class. So the Inquisitor, they protect all that's human from all that is not. Once their target is spotted, they're assaulted with a wide array of afflictions, and hindering effects will make it impossible to escape the sentence of their assailant. So the Inquisitor class will focus on applying status effects. And we also notice some new abilities for the Plague Doctor. So if we turn our hero into Plague Doctor, notice how he has a spear. But what we can also do is equip a knife, which is currently already equipped, and the Balestrino, and that will give him these new abilities. It also gives him the offhand ability, which makes characters like these, who are like sort of dual wielding, extra versatile, because they can catalyze with a regular melee attack, or if they're just out of reach, they can have this offhand attack instead. So yeah, that has been nearly 2 hours of the demo. So some of you might be wondering what happened to the main quest. In our journal, where it says talk to Johan at the Merchants Guild, why didn't you do that? Can't say too much about it. All I can say is definitely stay tuned for the coming weeks, where we have something else exciting to announce. But I think we will end up sort of the gameplay portion here. I'm gonna go ahead to the Steam chat, which has been hidden for a while now, and just answer any questions if there are any. Perhaps show off the old quarter tree first. So in the party we have some hurt members by nailing one of the bloodstained nails we found in there. We're all back up to full. And yeah, the quarter tree is actually based on an actual tree here in Belgium, where people believed that if they had a toothache, they just had to nail a coin to the tree, and the tree would take the pain out of it, as well as would take over your pain. So we figured that would make like a really interesting folkloric reference for like healing locations. So expect a lot of that in the game. And